So we'll continue with the static discussion. What is the purpose of the static? What is the purpose of the static? Why we are going to use it? Right. Come again. Now, why we are going to use it? If I want some data to be common for every object, then we go for defining the variable as static. When you want some data to be common for every object of the class, I don't want to have a separate data for every object. If I want some data to be common for all the objects, then I will go for static. Right. Now look at this format. Is a noise system speaker. Parmesh, can you call that office Parmesh? When I'm going with the static example, I have taken static integer a value, public integer b value, then I was taking public static example, a public void call. When you say public void call me, a value equal to a value plus 10, b value equal to b value plus 10. I have given equal importance to both the variables, a equal to a plus 10, b equal to b plus 10. Now, one of the variable I defined as static, another variable I defined as non-static. One of the variable I defined as static, another variable I defined as non-static. Now, I want to execute this program. Let us go to the execution. I was creating static example. Example s2 equal to static example. Then I told system dot debug s1 dot eval, system dot debug s2 eval. First s1 b value, s2 b value, s2 b. Now, if you want to refer to static variable, this is not for a specific object, it's for the entire objects of the class. So if you want to refer to any static variable, we are supposed to refer with class name dot variable. It's not like object dot variable, it's like class name dot variable name. Because this object is not specific to, this variable is not specific to any one of the object. It is common to all the objects. It is common to all the objects of the class. That is the reason we are supposed to refer to the variable with the class name dot variable. Static variables are referred with the class name dot variable. Static variables are referred with the class name dot variable. Static variables are referred with class name dot variable. Then I was calling here s1 dot call me. When I say s1 dot call me, use the data from s1 and run the functionality called call me. S1 dot call me. Use the data from S1. Call. Again. S1 dot call. S2 dot call. This is how I am taking here. Execute. Run it. Now look at the output. Initially, the value of A is 0. Value of B is 0. S1 B value is 0. S2 B value is 0. Then I told S1 dot call. Use the data from S1 and run the operation called call. Then A equal to A plus 10. A is common. So A is incremented by 10. B equal to B plus 10. Whose B value? S1 B value is incremented. So S1 B value equal to 10. S2 B value is 0. Now S2, okay, for S2 also, what is the value of A? Value of A is 10. S1 B value, okay, S1 A value 10. S2 A value 10. S2 B value 10. Okay, look at the point. S1 A value 10. S2 A value 10. S1 B value is 10. S2 B value is 0. So B value is not common for both of them. Then again I told S1 dot call. A equal to A plus 10. 10 plus 10 20. B equal to B plus 10. B equal to 20. S2 dot B value is 0. Then again I told S2 dot call. When you say S2, okay, S2 dot call, A equal to A plus 10. So what happened? 20 plus 10, 30. S1 dot B value 20. S2 dot B value 10. Are you getting my point? Why we are getting different value for S? Okay, different value for B. B is a non-static variable. The moment I say non-static variable, for every object, separate memory will be allocated for non-static. When I say static, memory will be same. Memory will be same. As the memory is same, any change that you make, it will be reflected to other objects. I hope you are good with this. So whenever we say variable as a static, they are referred with a class name. Static variables are referred with a class name. Static variables are referred with a class name. And memory will be allocated only once. I hope you are good with this. People have followed? Okay. So let me give you a quick information. Right. Any query from your end on this topic? Any query from your end on this topic? Whenever I say static, memory will be allocated only once. That is before executing the program.
Satish.
Yeah.
In the last debug line, S2 value has become 10. In the previous two lines, it has been 0 and 0.
You told
in the
S2
final
dot
stage.
call.
Okay.
Call S2 dot call. Now,
Okay.
now let us go to this static here. What is a static? Static is a this keyword is used along with variables. Mute your mic. This keyword is used along with variables and methods. First, static variables. If you define any variable as static, memory will be allocated only once. That is on the name of the page. All the objects can access this, can access static variable and modify. modify the value. Changes made by any one of the object will be reflected. Changes made by any one of the object will be reflected to other objects. Other objects. Static variables are referred using class. Static variables are referred using class. So when you say static, memory will be allocated only once, that is on the name of class. All the objects can use the same value, all the objects can modify. Any one of the change made by the object will be reflected back to other objects. So static variables are accessed using class name. Static variables are accessed using class name. I hope you got the point, right?
Satish, can you please explain that example once again?
Now, what is this variable? Static. When I say static, it is common for every object. Every object means S1 A value is same, S2 A value is same. For both S1 and S2, same A variable is there. Now B is a non-static. When is a non-static? When B is a non-static, then what happened? For B, separate memory will be allocated. The moment I am running the program, first what will happen? Before executing the program, memory is allocated. Memory allocated for whom? On. Then line number 1 is executing. S1. Memory allocated for whom? Next line S2. Then I call A value. Whenever you say A value, static variables are referred with class name. Static example A value. What is the A value? S1 dot B value. S1, this is S1. What is the value of S1 dot B value? S2 dot B value. Go to this memory. S2. What is the B value? Then I told S1 dot call me. When I say S1 dot call me, use the data from S1 and perform the operation called call me. A. In S1, do you have any variable called A? No. Then go to static. Do you have A variable? Yes. So, in the object, we don't have specific A value. We have A value as a static. So, go to the static object, A equal to A plus 10, B equal to B plus 10. Then, what is the value of static example A value? S1 dot B value, S2 dot B value, right? Change which we made on static, it's common for everyone. So the change will be reflected to everyone. But B is not a static. S1 has its own B value, S2 has its own B value. Again I told S1 dot call me. Use the data from S1, make the changes. B value. B value A equal to A plus 10. So 10 plus 10 20. 10 plus 10 20. Then what is the value of A? B S2 dot B value, because we are only working with S1. S1 dot call me, S1 dot call me. Then I told S2 dot call me. Use the data from S2, make an operation. So what was that? A equal A plus 10. A is common for both of them. So we have 30. B equal to B plus 10. Who's B? Because I told S2 dot call me, value from S2 is taken. What is the value here? So what is the value we are getting here? 30, 20. Last one is that was clear? When I say S1 dot call me, use the data from S1 and run the operation. When I say S2 dot call me, use the data from S2 and run the operation. I hope you are good. People are
So
good
B
with
well
this?
value will be same like what was earlier, right?
Come again.
So this B well value,
BVAL of
B well
S. BVAL of what? S1 or S2?
S1.
S1 will be 20. I didn't make any changes on this. So this 20.
Got you. Mhm.
Right, boss?
Satish?
So B is two different objects, two different B values. A is static, only one value. Right. Static means memory is allocated only once. Everybody has to refer to the same variable and modify the same value. Whereas non-static, for every object, separate memory will be allocated and we have a separate values. So with respect to the object, values will be modified. Right?
Satish, apart from that, whether is there any chance to object through access through object for static? There is no way.
No. Only with the class.
Okay.
Static variables are always referred with the class name. When you are calling outside. Inside the class, straight away we can use it. Outside the class, you have to refer with the class only. Because it is not specific to any particular object. It is specific to class. It is specific to class. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Satish, when you say S1 dot call me, why is it going back to static underscore example?
Static underscore example is the name of the class. How do you refer to the static variables? I told static variables are referred with the class name. Static underscore example is the name of the class.
Okay.
Static example is the name of the class. Memory for the static variables are allocated on the name of class and we are going to call them with the class name only. Static variables, memory will be allocated on the name of class. Static variables, please mute your mics. Static variables, memory will be allocated on the name of the class and they are referred using the class name. So what is the class name we have taken? Static example. So static example dot a value. I hope you are good. People are good with this example.
Actually, Satish, I got it about static, but when you say first time S1 dot call me and you say system dot debug, you have taken the value from the above one, right? How is it taking when you call S1 dot call me?
When you say S1 dot call me, what is S1? S1 is an object. So take the data from S1 and use it. Now, how do you call a method? How you people call a method? Method will be called with the object. So what is S1? S1 is an object. Now I am calling a call me method from S1 object. So it means use the data from S1 and run the operation called call me. Whose data I have to use? Is it S1 data or S2 data? Now any method we call should be called with the object only. Any method we call, how do you call the method? How do you call? Any variable you want to call, what we do? Create an object for the class and invoke it. I have created an object with the object name I am calling. S1 is an object, so object dot call me. Right, boss? Okay. Now the point here is, let us go to the next extension. How to define a method as a static method? Now we have seen static variable. Now we want to go with a static method. How do you define a method as a static method? Now, what is the difference that you find between a static method and a non-static method? So let us look at this format. If I use a keyword called static, then we call the method as static. If you use the keyword called static, then we call the method as static. When you use the keyword called static, then we call the method as static method. So public static void show. Public static void show. Now look at this point. If the method is a static method, it can only use static variables of the class. First, let me give the basic point. Static method. Now, anything that you define as a static, it has to be called with the class name only. Anything that you define as a static, it has to be called with the class name only. Now, if the variable is a static, class name dot variable name. If the method name is a static, we are going to call class name dot method name. So let me give you system dot debug. Now, let me run this. Static example. Execute highlight. Run. This is a static example. How did I execute it? Class name dot method. Anything that you define as a static, it will be called with class name. Anything that you define as a static, it will be called with class name. If you define the method as a static, if you define variable as a static, if you define method as a static, then we are going to call with class name dot method name, class name dot variable name, class name dot method name, class name dot variable name. Okay, class name dot method name, class name dot variable name. Are you clear about it? Second point, within the static method, I can only use static variables. I cannot use non-static. I cannot use it. Why? Non-static, when you say, when you are calling a method, I don't say even dot show. If it is a static method, I am not calling even dot show. If I say even dot show, use the data from even and run the operation. But static method will not be called with object dot method name. Static method is called with class name. Now, when you say b value, whose b value? S1 b value, S2 b value, S3 b value. You told b value equal to b value plus 10. Now, whose b value? S1 or S2 or S3? We are not sure. That's the reason static method should not contain any static variables of the class. Within the static method, I was not supposed to use. Within the static method, I was not supposed to use static variables. Okay, within the static method, I was not supposed to use non-static variables. Static method can contain only static variables of the class. Within the static method, I can only use static variables of the class. Within the static method, I can only use static variables of the class. Within the static method, I can only use static variables of the class. I hope you are good. Now let us see what is the bug we got here. So says variable b does not exist. Why does not exist? The method is a static. Within this, we are supposed to use only static variables of the class. Only static variables of the class can be used within the static method. I hope you are good. If you define static, method can be called class. Static method can contain only static variables of the class. Static method can use only static variables of the class. Static method can use only static variable of the class. Class name dot method. This is how we are giving.
Satish,
Yes, Amma.
do static methods will always have only void or it can also have the return value?
See, it has a method. Whatever the method can give, the same thing can be performed with the static. You will have all the properties, all the syntaxes of a method, but only the point is how it is invoked is only the difference. The way we are invoking is only the difference. Rest all the things are going to be same with respect to the method. So you can have static integer, static decimal, static boolean, whatever you want. Now it is a method, boss. We are adding one extra keyword, that's all. Because I added this keyword, we are executing with the class name. Apart from that, rest of the story is same. It is also a method. The way the regular method works, this method also works in the same way. The way we write a regular method, the same syntaxes will be applied for this. The only thing is, we added one extra keyword called static. I hope you are good.
Yes, Satish.
So Satish, we can create another static variable inside the static method, right?
See, at any time, did you create any variable with a public access modifier in the method? Did you happen to see me creating any variable like this? Only within this, variables can be created. You cannot create a static variables. You cannot create a final variables. Now, static is for a class. If I define within a method, what happens today? It becomes a local. Now, I told static is the variable. When you create a variable in the class as a static, it is common for all the objects.
Okay.
Right. It becomes a common. It becomes a common. It becomes a common variable. Okay. So if you define any variable in the method as a static, if you define any variable in the method as a static, as a local variable. It has nothing to do with the class. It has nothing to do with the class. Any variable defined in the class is the class variable. All the properties, access modifier, okay, static, all these things will be applied on those variables. Anything that you define within the method is a local variable to that method. It has nothing to do with the class. Alright, boss? I hope I'm clear with this.
So Satish, it means we can't create any static variable within the
what I-
static method, right?
That's what I'm trying to convey, right? I told you cannot create a method. You added just a keyword called static in front of it. That's all. I told within the method you cannot create any variable which is a static, which has an access modifier, It is a local variable, right? Amma? It can have any return type, no issue. See, now the point is, when I'm adding a keyword called static, doesn't mean that it will kill the properties of the method. Now, what was this? It is a method. Now, when it is a method, all the properties of the method will come. Now, in addition to that, we are adding some extra feature that will not restrict it. Got my point? So, it is a method. Method will have. So, if it doesn't have any return type, I should not give void here. Now, if I am giving a void, the other things are also possible. Right, Amma? Okay. So, let us come back to the next story. We are going with the next one. So, with this, whatever the basics that we require for the starting the Visual Force, we just started. Now, still there are some concepts which we are going to use it. When I start the Apex programming, then I am going to discuss about arrays, list, set, map. This will be coming back. This will be coming back once I do the Visual Force. Because till now, I was showing the output on the testing side, testing log file. So let us build the Visual Force pages so that we can see the output in the Salesforce screens. Then I'll come, once you see the basics, they'll come back to the Apex program where we will see arrays, list, set, map, interfaces. Okay. And we also have basic properties of try catch. Try catch. I'll finish off the try catch now. Right. These topics will be learning once I get into the Apex. Right now we have seen the basics that are required for me to start Visual Force. So once we start the Visual Force, we'll see how the output will be displayed on the UI. Till now we are showing the output only on log file. Okay, because we didn't start the UI. Now we'll go with the Visual Force pages. We'll see the basic part of the Visual Force. Then again we'll come back to the Apex program where we can go with advanced programs here. Okay. So before, if I want to display the outputs of array, list, set, map, I require a UI first. So first let us design the UI part of Visual-Force. Once I done some basics of Visual-Force, again I'll come back to Apex, make a combination. Now it's not going to be a single HSH1 Visual-Force, HSH Apex. Both are going to be in combination. Apex and Visual-Force will be in combination because the UI also should be designed parallelly along with the logics. Okay. So the basics required for me to start Visual-Force, that is class creation, method creation, object creation, static, overloading, we have done it. So how do you create if condition? How do you create for loops? If, for, method, right? Then how to create a method? Okay, how to create a class? How to create an object? How to create a constructor? What is the purpose of this? The basics required to define a class we have seen. Okay. So tomorrow I will start with the Visual-Force, but still I am going to cover one more topic for the day. One more topic will be there. From tomorrow I am going to start with the Visual-Force. Right. Right. Let me continue. Let me continue the topics. Again, please mute your mic, Sama. We cannot repeat every day. Now, from tomorrow we're going to start the Visual-Force. Now I'll cover one more topics of the OOPS which is required for us. Okay. Now the point here is we are not learning Java. We are learning OOPS required for Salesforce. For the OOPS required for the Salesforce consists of class creation, object creation, method creation, constructor. It is enough for us. Right? Now, when you go to the inheritance, what do you see in Java? We don't have this. We have only one single step. We don't define interfaces in Salesforce. We only use what is existing. Right? Here, don't compare this with Java and other stories. A simple example. Here in Salesforce, we have a concept called list, set, map. Here I am going to have 10 methods. It will be around 12 methods. 5 methods. For the same concept, if you learn with the Java.NET, same concept we are learning with Java.NET. This is the collection. So you have to learn iterable, collection, list, queue, set. This is not map, only one set. Second set is there. Then we need to learn array list, linked list, vector, stack, array DQ, priority queue, hash set, linked set, sorted set, tree set, and we'll be having one more map. Where is that map? Okay. All this structure will be there. We don't have all this stuff. Here it is only straight away 3 concepts. This is only list and set. Again we have map. Again we have. So don't compare or learn in terms of this. We don't need to understand. We are not learning Java.NET OOPS and collection. We are learning Salesforce. So this is how, if you go with the Java.NET, this is the topics what we have. So we have in Java collection, list, array list, linked list, vector, set, hash set, linked hash set, tree set, queue, linked list, priority queue, DQ, map, hash table, tree map. We don't require all this. We had only list with the 10 methods, set with the 10 methods, map with 10 methods, map with 5 methods. Simplified. So unwantedly, out of excitement, don't prepare all this. Is of going to be 0% use for us. It's going to be 0%. You are supposed to learn the things which are required for us. An example of this. Again, now I'm going to cover the try catch exception. I'm going to cover exception handling. Now I'll be covering the topic which is required for Salesforce now. We are supposed to this here it is. We are supposed to learn exception, runtime exception, other exception. There is a structure. Well, structure is not given. You're opening my pages. No. Right. So we don't need all these things here. Here we have only try, catch, exception. That's all. Try, catch, exception. That also will use it in DML operation or test classes. In the regular, we don't use it. When you are making a DML operation, we'll be using try catch. So don't learn this oops in terms of Java.NET. We are not going to use all those stuff. We don't need those. And the syntaxes purpose are going to be completely different. Now the common topic that you find between Java.NET and Salesforce is class, object, static, variables, methods, for, if. The rest of the topics is going to be different here. Again, I told you interfaces. We don't define any interface in Salesforce. We only use interfaces. And inheritance, we don't use. Out of my 7.5 years of experience, hardly once or twice I used inheritance in my Salesforce. Right. I had 5 years of experience on Java. Now every day I used to use it. Right. Now out of my 7.5 years on Salesforce, we hardly once or twice I used it. Okay, that also in classroom examples, not in real time. Right. So don't compare this with the Java.NET and okay, make yourself complex. So whatever I am giving, that's sufficient for Apex oriented programming. So we are not learning Java.NET, we are only learning oops with respect to Apex. What you are supposed to be strong at is concept of class, concept of object, class, object. If you know what is a class, what is an object, how the object is going to call the methods, that is more than sufficient for us. But you are supposed to practice more number of logics, defining a method, defining a class, defining an object, and invoking it. How the logic will be defined in the method is very important than the structure. Right. If you are good with the structure of creation of a class, creation of a method, creation of a constructor, that's sufficient for us to understand the Apex oriented programming. Right. I hope you are good with this. Right. Now let us come back. So almost we have spent 11 or 12 sessions on explaining class and method. Right. Even if you learn a Java course also, people will not give. There will be one day class, because I trained Java class also. I know. Right. So let us come back to the exception handling. Now, what is an exception? What is an error? How this is handled? Salesforce exception handling is very simple straight away. We don't have any complexity, throwable, throws, all this structure is not available. A simple try catch will be using it. Now, first let us understand what is an exception, what is an error. What is an exception? What is an error? Now let me make it generalized to get the clarity on the topic. Let us say today is my wife's birthday. Morning I forgot to wish her. I came to institute as usual at 7 o'clock. I came to institute. Now I started taking a class at 7 o'clock. At 8:30, my driver is supposed to bring breakfast for me. He didn't bring the breakfast. Then I found there is something wrong. Then I opened my mobile. I found there are some people wishing my wife. Some of my relatives are wishing her on birthday. Now I realized that some mistake has happened. Now immediately I called my office boy, right, and I told him to bring one bouquet and deliver it at the house. I told it is a surprise gift. If she was convinced that is a surprise gift, then what will happen? Right, then it's okay. Then otherwise a liar will come to house. Now look at the point here. Try to get. Now then I found that there is a mistake at the sequence. That generally is suppose I was supposed to come here at 7 o'clock. I was supposed to take a class 8:30. Okay, 8:30, 8:40 I'll have my breakfast. And 8:50 I was supposed to class next batch. 10:30 I was supposed to class. So the sequence of classes. But in the sequence, something is abstracted here. When I know that something is abstracted, something has gone wrong. Now if I make an attempt to, if I know the solution, if I know how to rectify it, then it become what? Exception. Now what happened? No need of lawyer. Now I can jump to the next. I'll get my lunch. If I didn't rectify at the breakfast level, lunch and dinner also will be cancelled. Now, what was that? You want to terminate or you want to skip? You want to skip that process of error, jump to the next. But the problem is, my breakfast will not come. Even if I send a surprise gift also, breakfast is lost. Now what I am trying to do is, trying to avoid further damage. Right? Are you getting my point here? Now error and exception. Now if I don't act on it, now error has occurred, I didn't act on it, then becomes what? quit the program. Lawyer will come, divorce, immediately push off. The quit the termination is a termination of the relation. Now, if I act on it, if I try to make a solution for it, if I rectify it, if I try to give a solution, at least further damage will not be done, process will go. Now it's called exception. It is called exception. You get my point again? Right? Then let me extend. People are clear with this concept. Still question mark. Right? Chalo. Let me extend the example. Now, I told, then she told, okay, fine boss. You told shopping. I told, no problem, let's go. I thought shopping means she'll purchase some clothes or something. I told, it's okay. Chalo. Then she has taken me to ornament shop. Now, look at the point. If I know well in advance that she is going to purchase a jewelry, I might have told, no problem, call the lawyer. Right? But after going there, she has taken me to the shopping mall. Okay, when she told shopping mall, now I thought I went to Inorbit Mall, maybe thinking that some clothes may be purchased. But she has taken me to jewelry shop. Now this is a checked exception or unchecked exception. Do I know well in advance? I don't know. If I know well in advance, I might have avoided it. Because I don't know. After going there only, I found it was the mistake. So I encountered this problem while running the operation. If it is before the operation, I might have taken the precautionary steps to avoid it. But I encountered it only at the runtime. After going to the shopping mall, she has taken me to the jewelry shop. She purchased some ornament of, let us say, 10 lakh rupees. Now I cannot say don't purchase. Right? My salary is only 5 lakhs, so don't purchase 10 lakh ornament. I cannot say it because lawyer will be always waiting there. Right? Now exception has occurred. Now if I don't act on it, it becomes what? Error. Now there is a problem which occurred at the runtime. Okay, these are unchecked exception. These are what? Unchecked exception. I didn't predict that this type of problem will come. Now I spoke to that shopkeeper, the sales guy, boss, whatever my wife says she selected, say it's purchased, it's already sold, I'll give you 50,000 as a gift. If the sales guy was convinced with my gift of 50,000 rupees, then there's no problem. Then issue was solved, exception. If the sales guy was not solved, okay, he's not happy, he informed my wife, your husband is saying like this, then it become what? Error. Right? Now, you make an attempt to resolve it, but it was unsuccessful, still it is what? Error. Right? You made an attempt to resolve it, you are successful, it is what? Exception. Did you get my point here? Error, exception is, both are problems only. Error is also a problem, exception is also a problem. When error occurred, if you are trying to resolve it, then it becomes what? Exception. And your attempt has failed, still it is error because your attempt is not successful. Are you getting my point here? Are you getting? Now the question is, do you know that this type of problems occurs well in advance or not? If you know that this type of problems will occur well in advance, then I will check at the compile time only. I will check at the compile time. Now we are assuming that this type of problems may come. You are predicting that there may be a possibility of the problem. Let us say, I thought of going for a movie. We thought of going for a movie. The theater is 15 minutes away from my house. Now there is 15 minutes away from my house. Now I thought the show is at 6:40. Let us start at 6:20. Now generally there will be no traffic on my road. So I told within 15 minutes I can reach. Now I didn't predict there will be a traffic. Right? So generally there will be no traffic on my road. So I thought within 15 minutes I can reach the theater. I started at 6:20. Unfortunately, there was a traffic. Now if I know well in advance that there will be a traffic, I might have started half an hour earlier. But I didn't predict that there will be a traffic. Generally there is no traffic. So I thought by 6:20 will be a right time. I can start. I'll be 5 minutes early to the theater. That's how I started. But unfortunately, when I started, there was some traffic in the road. Now what happened? Is it expected or unexpected? Now it is what? Runtime. Now it's what? It is not runtime. Unchecked exception. Checked exception means, boss, I know very well there will be traffic on this road. Okay, I have to start 30 minutes earlier. Okay, then I am going. Now generally there is no traffic. I started while I'm reaching the theater, on the way I found that there is a traffic. Now I cannot do anything. It is what? Runtime exception. Runtime exception. Runtime exception. Right? Runtime exception. While you caught in the traffic, you can find out some solution for it. It becomes an exception. If you cannot find a solution, obviously what happened? Movie will be cancelled. Are you getting my point here? Now, did you predict that there will be traffic? No. If you have predicted that there will be traffic, you might have started earlier, or you might have taken another route. Did you get my point? So, exception or error will occur at what time? Runtime. Exception or error will occur at what time? Runtime. Exception or error will occur at what time? Runtime. While running the program, you are encountering a problem. You know you are expecting this type of problem. Already you have a solution for it. If you are not expecting this problem, there is no solution. That is a error. Are you getting my point? Chalo. I started for a movie. Right? Now, they told me to book the tickets well in advance, which I couldn't do it. I didn't do it. So, I thought theater will be free. I thought theater will be free. So, I didn't book the tickets earlier. So, after going to the theater, I found, boss, there is a possibility of, as we have not booked the tickets well in advance, there is a possibility that tickets may not be available. Then immediately called one of my friend, come to theater. Now what happened? Now why did I call him? Because I know that there is a possibility that I won't get the tickets. Because I am predicting this, there is a possibility of not getting a ticket. Then I have chosen an alternate solution. Did you get my point? This is what? Predicting there is a possibility of an error. If you predict that there is a possibility of an error, you are going to put them in a try block. You are going to put them in a try block. When do I put in a try block? When there is a possibility of encountering a problem. Now I am predicting, maybe it's true or may not be true. I thought tickets may not be available. But only after going to the theater I can say tickets are available or not available. But after going to the theater, if tickets are not available, what to do? I have to plan it. Now I am assuming that there is a possibility that tickets may not be available. Immediately I call one of my friend. I told, once we reach the theater, you tell, check out tickets are available or not. Tickets are not available. Tell that the movie is not good. Go away from here. So if he could convince my family members, then it's an exception. He failed to convince, error. Now I took a solution. I know that there is a possibility that tickets may not be available. Immediately I call a friend. You go to the theater and verify tickets are available or not. Tickets are available or not. If not available, stay there and give us a call and say that the movie is not good. Now this is the solution what I have given. Right? Because I am predicting that there is a possibility that tickets are not available. Okay. I am predicting it. So any statements which may rise, an error, those which may rise, not guaranteed. In case if they rise, what to do we have to tell. They may or may not. If they 100% raise a problem, why do I write that program? If 100% they raise a problem, why do I write statement? No, it's not always. But there is a possibility of encountering an error. There is a possibility. In case if that possibility occurs, how to handle is defined in exception. Catch block. Right? Are you clear? Error and exception both will be the same. Runtime problem is error or exception. The error occurred, we handle it, it's an exception. We are unable to handle it, it's a error. Error will quit, exception will jump. Exception will jump that block, go to the next block. Whereas the error quit the program. I hope you got my point. Am I clear with this? Got the difference between error and exception? Both will occur at what time? Runtime. Okay. Both will occur at what time? Runtime. When I am starting from the house itself, they told that tickets are not available. Will I go to theater? I will not go to theater. So that is compile time. Well in advance you know there is a problem. Will not start from the home. Well in advance you know that it is 50 minutes away from my house. But I found on the way there is some accident. Probably for 1 hour the traffic will be stuck. I will not go for a movie. Right? So this is what? I know well in advance that there is a problem. I will resolve it. I don't get into it. But when I am already onto it, already when I am executing it, during the execution, if the problem occurs, then I have to handle it. How do you handle it? Try, catch. I hope you are clear with this. Concept is clear. Am I clear with the concept? Try, okay. Exception and error. I hope the theme is clear for everyone. Right? Exception not handled, error. Error handled, exception. Exception not handled, error. Both are problem. Handled, exception, not handled, error. Error will fit, exception will jump. I hope you are good. Right. Always the problem occur, we can't predict. If always it occur, we don't write it. Now there is a possibility. There is a possibility. When I am writing a program, I feel that in this line there is a possibility of problem. I am trying to insert a record. When I am trying to insert a record, validation rule may fail. There is a possibility. When I am trying to insert a record, required field is not entered. There is a possibility. Right? Are you clear about it? Okay. Now let us see this. Generally, how the program will execute. This is the program. What is the output we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. There is an error at line number 3. There is error. What will happen? 1, 2. There is a quit or exit from the program. Why? Are you predicting any error there? You are not predicting. Right. The same thing I wrote. Statement 1. This is the block. Which statements I am writing in the try? Statements which may raise the probability that they may encounter a problem. Those I am writing in a try. Now there is no error, boss. If there is no error, what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13. When the problem occurs in the try, then only it goes to catch. When the problem occurs in the try, then only it goes to catch. There is no problem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15. Error at line number 2. Are you expecting error at line number 2? You are not expecting it. If you are expecting, you might have kept in the try. You are not expecting the error. So if the error occurs, can you handle it? 1. No. Error occurred at line number 5. At 5, error occurred. Are you expecting an error? Yes. What happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11. When the error occurs, fit the try block, go to the catch, continue. So when the error occurs, line number 5, stop executing the try, go to catch. Error at line number 6. If the error occurs at line number 6, what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now error at line number 7. Write the code. Error at line number 7. Error at line number 8. Write the code for this. Tell me which statements will run. Write it. If you know which are going to run, then you can write the logic accordingly. First, you should know which statements will run. Line number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 9, 14, 15. Because we are expecting a problem at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When the problem occurred, we'll jump it. Now, error occurred at line number 10. Are you expecting error at line number 10? Now, line number 10 is a solution, but solution is causing a problem. Then, why did you go to catch? There may be a problem at 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. We are not sure. Problem occurred at what? Maybe at 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. When the problem occurred, it jumped. So what happened? 1, 2, 3 pakka they will run. Remaining statements 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which are going to run? I am not sure. Why? Problem occurred at line number 4, go to catch. Problem occurred at line number 5, go to catch. Problem occurred at line number 6, go to catch. 7, catch. 8, catch. So where the problem occurred, I am not sure. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, any one of the statement is error. Then 9, fit the program. So tell me, error occurred at line number 11. Error occurred at line number 11. Now what is the error here? 1, 2, 3. I am not sure about 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 9, 10. Fit the program. That error occurred at line number 12. Right. If you follow the statements, enough for us. We don't require any complex. We are going to write a simple try catch, nothing more than this. We are going to write a simple try catch. Try catch. Now, write the line number 12. Write the line number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. Right. Now, let us go to the next one. Error occurred at line number 14. Are you expecting an error at line number 14? Now tell me what is the possibility. Right. Tell me how you do it. 1, 2, 3 pakka. I cannot guarantee. Why? Now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13. Or the problem occurred at line number 4. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You may go to try catch and come to, or only try and come out, try catch and come out, right? There is a both possibilities. So what was that? I am not sure about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. Because if there is no problem, what happened? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 14. There is a problem at line number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, split. The problem at line number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Problem occurred at line number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, quit. There is no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, fit. So there is I am not sure which of these statements are running. So I kept them in. I hope you are good. Right? As simple as that. This is what is called try catch. If you are expecting that there is a possibility of an error, when you expect that there is a possibility of an error, we are going to write within a block called try. When you feel that there is a possibility of an error, you are going to write in a try. If the error occurred in the try, how to handle it is defined in catch. If the error occur in the try, how to handle it is defined in the catch. Right? I hope you are good. This mechanism is called exception handling. The mechanism that you define to handle the error is called, handle the exception is called exception handling. Every try will have one catch. Try will have catch. Try will have catch. In the Salesforce, as simple as that. You don't go beyond digging into other aspects. We only use try catch simplified version. I hope everybody is good with this concept, right? Whenever you are writing a statement, when there is a possibility that there may be a problem in execution, we are going to put them in a try block. If the problem occurs, we are going to handle it in the catch, right? Babu, girlfriend gurtochinda siggupadutunavu in class in, right? Now look at the point. When the problem occurs when you are writing a group of statements, when the problem occurs, then you will go to catch. If you don't write a try catch, it becomes what? Error, fit the program. But I know that this type of problem may occur. I am taking a precautionary steps well in advance. This problem occurs, do this. I hope you are clear with this. What was the try catch? It's a mechanism to handle exceptions. Now, any error occurred during the runtime, handle is an exception. Any problem occurred during the runtime, not handled, becomes error. Abnormal behavior occurred at the runtime is called error. Error handled become exception. Abnormal termination of the program or abnormal behavior of the program is called error. Error handled is exception. To handle this error, we have a try catch. In the try, the statements which may raise a problem are defined. In the catch, if the problem occurs, what is the solution that we want to give is defined in catch. One try will have minimum one catch. But in our Salesforce, we don't have try with multiple catches, try with the throw, try with the final. We don't have all the structure. Don't compare this with, again, Java.NET. It is a simplified framework with a simplified structure. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone?
Satish,
Yeah.
can I ask?
Go ahead.
Satish, after this catch within the bracket, there is exception E. So is this the syntax or what
It is syntax. It will tell you what type of problem occurred.
Okay,
Exception E, this E will tell you what type of problem occurred. Okay, what type of problem occurred is given by E. E dot get message will give you type of error occurred in the exception. Okay, when you do it in the Apex programming, will show. Right. While you are doing in the Apex programming, I'll be showing. Now
we write customized message.
Right now, no. Right now, no.
Okay.
Right. I am telling you here. We use an exception very less. Only at the time of DMLs, I'll be writing it. Generally, we don't get into this structure. Generally, when you go for DML operations, I'll be trying to use once or thrice. Okay. So it's not too elaborated like your Java.NET. This is simplified. One try, one catch with one class called exception. But still, we want to elaborate. There's a scope. But as per our requirement, it's more than sufficient. Right? Concept is clear? Clear for everyone? Right. So this is all about a try catch. I'll put the document later. Okay. Next, again, I'll repeat the points. What you are supposed to be good at while going for a Salesforce programming. People have to know